Welcome to video 6 in our ZLC Fast Start program. Once again, this is a 30-day fast start where there's 3 things you got to get done in the first 30 days. And then there's a 120-day milestone where we set a paid public event and then you've got to fill it. This video is on the performance formula. This is actually the presentation that you're going to give to the group. So when a host invites you in to speak to their audience for anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. 20 is kind of the ideal minimum. 25 gives you a little bit more leeway. This is the presentation you're going to give. Now I'm going to do it from start to finish just like I was doing it for a live group. I'm going to do it maybe a little quicker than I would without any audience feedback or questions, which is always great to do when you do this presentation. But I want you to watch the front, the middle, and the end. In the front, I'm going to be careful how I introduce myself, how I talk about the host, how delighted I am to be there, and I'm going to make sure the people in the room know why I'm there, that I'm in business, that I'm in the community, that my passion is helping individuals and companies achieve performance, high levels of performance. And in the middle of it, there's a few commercials in there. Now, they're not big, long commercials. They're just pointing out that I am teaching courses like goal setting and building the best you. And at the end, I'm going to thank everybody for their time, and because the host has so graciously invited me here, I'm going to give away a seat to my upcoming workshop. Who wants to win? And then when everybody raises their hand, then I get to explain what the workshop is. I get to give away the seat, and then at the very end, it's all done in a way where out of the 25 minutes, 22 to 23 minutes of it is pure value for everybody in the room. So here we go. Here is the Ziegler performance formula. And this is me being introduced. And so now I'm taking the stage. All right. Bert Newman, thank you so much for inviting me here today. It's an honor to be in front of the chamber. You know, I've heard so many good things about the chamber. I've enjoyed talking with some of you this very day before I've come up here. I want you to know my name is Tom Ziegler, and I am dedicated to helping individuals, companies, and organizations improve their personal and professional performance. I'm a Ziegler Legacy certified trainer. How many of you here have heard of Zig Ziglar? Okay, that's awesome. He's a mentor of mine. He inspires me. His works, it lives on. The legacy lives on. And what I'm going to do is share with you today the Ziegler performance formula, which I think and believe is so simple that everyone here will be able to memorize this before we're done, and you will immediately be able to apply it to your business. So a question for you. How many of you have ever been driving home from work and wondered, did I do good today? Did I perform today? Who has had that thought? How many of you here in leadership or management, you're the owner and you manage a team or you develop people? Have you ever had somebody walk in front of you and you ask yourself the question, are they doing a good job? All right. Well, if you've asked that question, then I want you to know that this formula will help you decide instantly within 10 seconds whether they're a keeper or whether they need some work or development or whether you need some work or development. Okay, you ready? Okay, let's talk about performance now. Did you know that in my business, that even though I'm in the training business, did you know that nobody buys training? That's right. They don't buy training. They buy the results of training, which is what we call performance. So at Ziegler, we decided to take that one step up and we defined a term called true performance. True performance is what we decided that we're in the business of. We want to provide true performance. We want to help individuals and companies achieve true performance. Well, when you have your own company, how many business owners here? Awesome. You know what's cool about owning your own business is you can make up words and terms just like we do. So we came up with this definition. True performance is the ideal accomplishment of a goal, aspiration, or objective. Now, when Ziegler was developing this, they worked on this, their whole team did it. They finalized on this. They took it to Zig. They took it to Mr. Ziegler. He looked at it, and this was Zig Ziglar's talent, is he could take a good definition, a good quote, and he could make it great. So Mr. Ziegler added these 4 words to it that benefits everyone involved. So here's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is that true performance is the ideal accomplishment of a goal, aspiration, or objective that benefits everyone involved. That means the team member, the manager, the owner, the shareholder, the stakeholder, the customer, the community, the families of the employees. They all have to win when you do business. You see, it doesn't make any sense. It's no win at all if everybody makes money, but we poison the streams in the community, the river's poisoned. That's what true performance is about. So this performance formula ends up creating true performance. So what is this performance formula? Well, it's real simple. It's a little formula, and it's A times E times S equals P. Attitude times effort times skill equals performance. So let's break that down a little bit. Who here remembers their first job? Anybody? Okay, remember how you were on that first job? You were kind of nervous and scared, and you wanted to fit in, and you didn't know anybody, and you just wanted to go in. Well, the reality is when you showed up for that first job, your attitude, you just lacked confidence. So you were a 1 on your attitude, and your effort, they hadn't given you any work to do yet, right? You're just showing up, you're going through the onboarding process, you're pure overhead. There's no work you're doing. And your skill level is a 1 too, because they haven't trained you on what to do. So when you look at the performance formula, what happens here is that 1 times 1 times 1 equals 1. That's right. Your performance is only a 1. Why? Because it's your first day. But let's just say you work for Mr. Bert Newman's company. Right? Bert's here in the chamber, he's active, he's got a great business on his own, and you report to work for Bert's company. Now, Bert does things different in his office. You see, your first day of work, because it's your first day, you get there early. And as you walk through the doors, the person at the front says, Tom, go and see Bert. The big boss wants to talk to you. Oh my gosh, you're kind of nervous, right? Because your first day and the big boss wants to see you. Have you lost your job already? You walk into his office and Bert says this to you. He says, Tom, so glad you're here. You know what? You are perfect for this position that you've taken. It's like we've looked for you our whole life. Your personality profile, all the testing we did on you panned out perfectly. We checked your resume, we called all your references, we did 13 interviews with you. Everything you have, your gifts, your experience, everything that you bring to the table is perfect. You're going to do great in this job. Someday you'll probably be running this business, Tom. We are so glad you're here, and we want you to know that as long as you keep your attitude up, you keep your effort up and your skill up, you're going to do great. So here's your day. It's an onboarding day. You're going to spend 30 minutes with everybody on the team. Just make sure you go out and attack it with enthusiasm. So I want to ask you a question. I leave that office just being given a motivational speech by Mr. Bert Newman, the most awesome business owner in the world. What's my attitude like? That's right. It's jumped. It's gone from a 1 to a 2. So let's look at this formula now. 2 times 1 times 1 equals 2. You see, the reality is my impact is already doubled, and it's only because of attitude. I am what's known as what I call elevator dangerous. Let me explain that to you. Elevator dangerous is this. I get on the elevator smiling, looking like this. Somebody else gets on the elevator and they say, wow, you look happy, why are you smiling? I say, I work at the best place in the world. They say, what do you do there? I have no idea. See what I'm saying? My attitude is contagious. Everybody wants what I got. I still am not putting any work, I'm still not doing any skill, yet my performance is doubled. This is what we say is the right attitude very rarely leads to the wrong action. If the attitude's right, boy, I'm going to be contagious in a positive sense. Dad said this, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. Attitude is everything. And that's why I'm so privileged to teach this course in my normal business called Building Your Best You, because we learned a long time ago, Zig used to say this, you can take all the right skills and put it on the wrong person, it doesn't do any good. So when I go in and work with businesses and I do public events, character and self-image and goal setting and personal development, because I know if I have the right person of attitude and character on my team, everything else takes care of itself. Now, Tom, here's the deal. I go home on that first day, right? So I come back in the second day. I'm kind of excited because I got a motivational speech. So what happens is I go in early again, but you're going to put some effort in. Here's what you're going to do. I have 50 customers here that I want you to call. And all you need to do is call them and ask if they received the package that we mailed out 2 weeks ago. They should have all gotten it. And as they confirm that, you just check it off. If you leave a voicemail message, just do it with enthusiasm. Make sure that you leave an exciting message. Let them know you're excited to call them. And if they didn't get the package, tell them you'll research it and somebody will call them by the end of the day. Does that sound good, Tom? Here's the list. All right, so I'll run out of there and I start making those calls. So let's look at the performance formula again. You see, now I'm doing effort. So my attitude is still a 2, right? Because I love this place. They love me. My effort has moved from a 1 to a 2, and my skill is still a 1. So 2 times 2 times 1 is 4. You see there? My performance has doubled again. What we say is this: far too many people have no idea what they can do because they've all been told what they can't do. I got a great message from the boss. This is what you can do. Man, that's exciting because the boss, Bert, understands this. Everybody in this room understands what Zig knew and what he put in this quote. You don't build a business, you build people, and people build the business. So what does all this mean? Well, I tell you, it's about building winning relationships. We have a program on this that I love to teach, and it just simply reminds me of this message. Think of this. If you want to get more work done, you work harder, right? And if you want to get twice as much work done, you work twice as hard. But what if you want to get 10 times as much work done? Can you work 10 times as hard? No, you can't. The reality is you can't do that. So how do we get more work done? We have great business and personal relationships. We need to know how to handle conflict. We need to know how to give recognition. We need to know how to work together and communicate on the same page, give two-way feedback. We need to do these things. And so when we teach our team members around the principles of building winning relationships, that allows us to multiply the impact of our efforts because we can't work 10 times as hard. But if we have 10 people on the team communicating in the right way, everything changes. So now I come in for my 3rd day of work. Man, I'm excited, right? Because I'm working for the best boss, best company. I got some work done. I walk in early again because you know what? I'm not going to break this chain of getting there early because every time I do, I get great feedback. And the person at front says, Tom, you need to go see the big boss again. Go see Bert. So I run back. I'm literally floating into Bert's office. I'm excited. I go in there and Bert says, Tom, man, yesterday was awesome. I heard you on the phone. Your voice inflection was great. Your attitude was perfect. We even had one of our customers call us back and tell us that the voicemail you left inspired them. They wanted to know that whatever you're drinking, they want some of it. Tom, that was a great day. Our team loves you. Man, you're going to fit. You might run this place sooner than I thought. Today, you're going to do some real work, but before you do the real work, we're going to have to give you some skill. We're going to have to train you. Now, we sent out a package about 3 weeks ago to our top 25 customers. And in this package was a CD. And in this CD, they needed to take it and load it into their software and in their computer to adjust what we had sent out. It's a simple thing to do, but Tom, not everybody is computer literate. They don't feel comfortable installing software on the computer. So here's the deal. We have a script that I want you to memorize and internalize. So you need to call these folks and ask them, did you get the package? Did you get the CD? Did you install it? And if they said yes, just ask them if it's working. If they say yes, thank you very much. The call is done. If they say no, then ask them if they need support, if they need a tech to come out and set that up. If they didn't install them, ask them why. They haven't had time or they don't know how or they don't feel comfortable. Whatever the question is, you need to move down the process and ask them, can we help? Can we have somebody come out there and do it for them? You got that, Tom? Go over there, memorize, internalize it. So I'll work on that for about 30 minutes. Then the boss, Bert, calls me back and says, Tom, let's role play it. We're good to go. I go and make those 25 calls. So what does all this mean now? Well, I've been trained. So now my attitude's still a 2, right? My effort, I'm doing the work, I'm making the calls, that's a 2. And I've learned a new skill, which is a 2. 2 times 2 times 2 equals 8. You see how my performance has doubled again? See, that's the combination of attitude, effort, and skill. So what does this mean? You must be willing to do something you've never done before to get where you've never been before. You see, I needed to learn a new skill to accomplish something I hadn't done before. It's not essential that I do it perfectly the first time, because Dad said this, anything worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can learn to do it well. And the boss, Bert, he gave me that flexibility. I practiced, I internalized, I role played, and then I went out there, and he was really more concerned with my attitude and my sincerity than he was with the perfection in the script. So it went great. What does all this mean? This means that people need a strategy to get from where they are to where they want to be. My manager had a strategy with how to teach me this. And at Ziegler, through Ziegler Legacy Certification as a trainer, I love teaching Zig's goal setting strategy, which is a perfect strategy to help any individual or person grow and be and do and have more than they thought possible. So if you have big goals and dreams and you want a process to get there, this is the one that I recommend. So that's not where we stop though. You see, the reality is that when you look at the world today, the whole world stops at 2 times 2 times 2, right? Now let's look at this chart real quick. You see that line there? There's actually another level. This level, the 3s are what are known as top performance, right? True performers. This is the performance formula. What we want is true performance. Everybody who's a 2, what they do is they depend on the circumstances. Now remember, my attitude was dependent upon my manager, Bert, what he told me. My effort was only this work that he gave me. I didn't go back and ask him for more work when I finished my calls. And my skill level was dependent only upon what the company provided me. But you see, there's this rare breed. Have you ever wondered why the top 5% in the industry will make 3, 4, 5, 6 times as much money as the average? Well, it's because they understand the concept of a 3. You see, a 3 in attitude knows this. They know that their attitude isn't dependent upon the circumstances, it's a choice. They choose to have a positive, winning attitude. It's not the boss that gives them the attitude, it's not the weather, it's not their home life, it's not the drive into work, it's a choice. They're putting the good stuff in, they're listening to the right stuff on the way in. They know that they can have any attitude they want, and they choose to have a positive, winning attitude. And the effort they put in, hey, everybody else can do just enough to get by, but I'm a top performer. I'm a true performer. So if they give me 25 calls to make and I get done by 2, I'm going to go ask them if there's more work to do. I'm going to study the top performers in my business and understand how they work to be more effective and more efficient. Because I know there's always another gear. It's all about hustle. It's all about working smarter and harder, not one or the other, but both together. I know that there's a good time to call the East Coast and a good time to call the West Coast. I'm a 3 because I own it. And on skills, man, it is awesome that these businesses here in the room today provide skills training for their people. That's fantastic. But top performers, true performers, realize that there's a whole world out there. They can do online training, they can read books, they can go to events and seminars, they can learn from industry experts how to up their game and up their level. You see, a true performer is a 3 times a 3 times a 3, which is a 27, which is 3, 4, 5, and 6 times more than the average. And that's the Ziegler performance formula. You know, this true performance idea is that when you operate as a 27, your performance potential has to be motivated by a big why. Why are you doing this? That's why true performers have a dream or a goal, something huge that they want to achieve. They're not working for a paycheck. They're working for a dream. So for those of you in here who want to raise your game to a 27, what's your why? Why are you doing what you do? What's your dream? Is it, you know, retirement and providing college funds for your great-great-grandkids and going to Tahiti and having the beach house? Man, those are all great dreams. You see, when you go to work for a dream, you have fun. And it's easy to stay dedicated to moving from 2 to 3 in each of these areas. Now at Ziegler, we're known for our attitude. And I just want to show you real quickly how important attitude is to this formula. What happens when you put a negative in front of an integer in an equation? The whole equation turns negative. So when our attitude goes negative, negative 2 times 2 times 2 equals negative 8. Okay, here's the reality. This is what I want to share with you. And I know that no business in here has anybody on their team that's negative, but probably some of you worked at a business in the past that had a negative person in the room, right? You ever worked with somebody like that? Okay. Here's the reality. All the studies show, statistics show that if you have a negative team member, it's cheaper to pay them to stay at home, not come into work, not call any customers, not call any prospects. Just keep paying them. Don't let them do any work, and certainly don't let them talk to anybody on your team or anybody who's a prospect or a customer. It's cheaper to do that than have them to come in and infect the rest of the team with their attitude. How many are in favor of paying all these negative people to do nothing? Who's joining me? Okay. Nobody? Okay, I understand. So why are we keeping them on the payroll? Or a better question, why haven't we shared with them a plan to achieve their dream and start working on changing their attitude from negative to positive? Because when we do, our performance goes through the roof. That's the Ziegler performance formula. It's been my honor and my pleasure to be here today, and I just want to thank the host for this opportunity. I hope this has been of value and a benefit to you. And the host has said this, Bert has said this, he has said, you know what, this is our VIP group, these are our core businesses. Do you think it'd be okay if we gave away one of your seats to your upcoming workshop? And I said, absolutely. So let me ask you, I'm doing a goal setting workshop that'll help you and your team strategically, specifically put a system in place to grow your revenue and achieve your personal goals. We're going to be doing that on August 15th. It's going to be an awesome half-day program. Who here would like to win this program? Please raise your hand. Awesome. Okay, Bert, can you bring me up the bowl and we'll pull a name out? Fantastic. Oh my gosh. Jim Bardwell won. I can't believe that. Jim Bardwell, he wins everything. Way to go. Congratulations, Jim. I'm so excited that you're coming. And just so you guys don't feel left out, I talked to Bert. He said it was okay. And boy, what a way to honor you guys. If anybody else would like to attend this event, normally it's $197. However, since you're here today, you're in the chamber, you're a part of this room, if you want to go ahead and register today before you leave, then what I can do is we can offer this to you for only $137, $139, whatever it is. You can come today, you can get that reduced price. And as an additive incentive, I have 6 Born to Win books here. So the first 6 people who come up and register, I'm going to give you one of these free books. This is part of your bonus for registering. This was Zig Ziglar's last book. Once again, I'm Tom Ziegler. My passion is to help you improve your personal and professional performance. Bert, it's been an honor. Thank you, Chamber, for having me. I look forward to meeting you right after this, and I'll see you next time. Okay, that's it. That's the end of this video. That's the simple presentation that you give in front of the room.